Hello everyone, welcome back to Moby Dick, chapter 36. The quarterdeck brackets enter Ahab, then all. So, basically I'm told, this is according to one of the commenters, a couple weeks ago, this is basically the start of the book proper now, so we're a third of the way through, and this is basically the start now. By the way, as always, hope you're enjoying. Make sure you subscribe to me, tap onto my face, give me a like as well, a thumbs up, that'd be lovely. Let me know what you're thinking. Chapter 36, the quarterdeck. Enter Ahab, then all. It was not a great while after the affair of the pipe that one morning, shortly after breakfast, Ahab as was his wont, ascended the cabin gangway to the deck. There most sea captains usually walk at that hour, as country gentlemen, after the same meal, take a few turns in the garden. Soon his steady, ivory stride was heard, as to and fro he paced his old rounds, upon planks so familiar to his tread, that they were all over dented, like geological stones, with the peculiar mark of his walk. Did you fixedly gaze too upon that ribbed and dented brow, there also you would see still stranger footprints, the footprints of his one unsleeping, ever-pacing thought. But on the occasion in question, those dents looked deeper. Even his nervous step that morning left a deeper mark, and so full of his thought was Ahab that at every uniform turn that he made, now at the mainmast, now at the binnacle, he could almost see that thought turn in him as he turned, and pace in him as he paced, so completely possessing him, indeed, that it all but seemed the inward mould of every outward movement. "D'ye mark him, Flask?" whispered Stubb. "The chick that's in him pecks the shell. 'Twill soon be out." The hours wore on. Ahab, now shut up within his cabin, anon pacing the deck with the same intense bigotry of purpose in his aspect. It drew near the close of day. Suddenly he came to a halt by the bulwarks, and inserting his bone leg into the auger hole there, and with one hand grasping a shroud, he ordered Starbuck to send everybody aft. "Sir," said the mate, astonished at an order seldom or never given on shipboard except in some extraordinary case. "Send everybody aft," repeated Ahab. "Mastheads there, come down." When the entire ship's company were assembled, and with curious and not wholly unapprehensive faces were eyeing him, for he looked not unlike the weather horizon when a storm is coming up, Ahab, after rapidly glancing over the bulwarks and then darting his eyes among the crew, started from his standpoint, and as though not a soul were nigh him, resumed his heavy turns upon the deck. With bent head and half-slouched hat he continued to pace, unmindful of the wondering whispering among the men, till Stubb cautiously whispered to Flask that Ahab must have summoned them there for some purpose of witnessing a pedestrian feat. But this did not last long. Vehemently pausing, he cried, "What do ye do when ye see a whale, men?" "Sing out for him," was the impulsive rejoinder from the score of clubbed voices. "Good," cried Ahab, with a wild approval in his tones, observing the hearty animation into which his unexpected question had so magnetically thrown them. "And what do ye do next, men?" "Lower away and after him." "And what tune is it ye pull to, men?" "A dead whale or a stove-boat." More and more strangely and fiercely glad and approving grew the countenance of the old man at every shout, while the mariners began to gaze curiously at each other, as if marvelling how it was that they themselves became so excited at such a seemingly purposeless questions. But they were all eagerness again, as Ahab, now half revolving in his pivot hole, with one hand reaching high up a shroud and tightly, almost convulsively grasping it, addressed them thus: "All ye mastheaders have before now heard me give orders about a white whale. Look'ee, d'ye see this Spanish ounce of gold?" holding up a bright broad coin to the sun. "It is a $16 piece, men. D'ye see it, Mr. Starbuck? Hand me yon top wall." While the mate was getting the hammer, Ahab, without speaking, was slowly rubbing the gold piece against the skirts of his jacket, as if to heighten its lustre, and without using any words was meanwhile lowly humming to himself, producing a sound so strangely muffled and inarticulate that it seemed the mechanical humming of the wheels of his vitality in him. Receiving the topmaul from Starbuck, he advanced towards the mainmast with the hammer uplifted in one hand, exhibiting the gold with the other, and with a high-raised voice exclaiming, "Whosoever of you raises me a white-headed whale with a wrinkled brow and a crooked jaw, whosoever of you raises me that white-headed whale with 3 holes punctured in his starboard fluke, look'ee, whosoever of you raises me that same white whale, he shall have this gold ounce, my boys." "Huzzah! Huzzah!" cried the seamen, as with swinging tarpaulins they hailed the act of nailing the gold to the mast. "It's a white whale, I say," resumed Ahab, as he threw down the topmaul. "A white whale. Skin your eyes for him, men. Look sharp for white water. If ye see but a bubble, sing out." All this while, Tashtego, Daggoo, and Kikag had looked on with even more intense interest and surprise than the rest, and at the mention of the wrinkled brow and crooked jaw they had started as if each was separately touched by some specific recollection. "Captain Ahab," said Tashtego, "that white whale must be the same that some call Moby Dick." "Moby Dick," shouted Ahab. "Do you know the white whale then, Tash?" "Does he fantail a little curious, sir, before he goes down?" said the gay-header deliberately. "And he has a curious spout too," said Daggoo. "Very bushy, even for a parmacetty, and mighty quick, Captain Ahab." "And he have 1, 2, 3, good many iron in him hide too, Captain," cried Kikag disjointedly. "Or twisticky be twisk like him, faltering hard for a word, and screwing his hand round and round as though uncorking a bottle. Like him, corkscrew," cried Ahab. "Aye, Kikag, the harpoons lie all twisted and wrenched in him. Aye, Daggoo, his spout is like a big one, like a whole shock of wheat, and white as a pile of our Nantucket wool after the great annual sheep shearing. Aye, Tashtego, and he fantails like a split jib in a squall. Death and devils, men! It is Moby Dick ye have seen. Moby Dick! Moby Dick!" "Captain Ahab," said Starbuck, with stub and flask, had thus far been eyeing his superior with increasing surprise, but at last seemed stuck, as though a thought was which somewhat explained all the wonder. "Captain Ahab, I have heard of Moby Dick, but it is not Moby Dick that took thy leg off." "Who told you that?" cried Ahab. Then pausing, "Aye, Starbuck, aye, my hearty's all round it was Moby Dick that dismasted me. Moby Dick that brought me to this dead stump I stand on now. Aye, aye," he shouted with a terrific loud animal sob, like that of a heart-stricken moose. "Aye, aye, it was that accursed white whale that raised me, made a poor pegging lubber of me for ever and a day." Then, tossing both arms with measureless imprecations, he shouted out, "Aye, aye, I'll chase him round Good Hope, and round the Horn, and round the Norway Maelstrom, and round Perdition's flames before I give him up. And this is what ye have shipped for, men, to chase that white whale on both sides of land and over all sides of the earth, till he spouts black blood and rolls fin out. What say ye, men? Will ye splice hands on it now? I think ye do look brave." "Aye, aye," shouted the harpooners and seamen, running close to the excited old man. "A sharp eye for the white whale, a sharp lance for Moby Dick." "God bless ye," he seemed to half sob and half shout. "God bless ye, men. Steward, go draw the great measure of grog. But what's this long face about, Mr. Starbuck? Wilt thou not chase the white whale? Art not game for Moby Dick? I am game for his crooked jaw and for the jaws of death too, Captain Ahab, if it fairly comes in the way of the business we follow. But I came here to hunt whales, not my commander's vengeance. How many barrels will thy vengeance yield thee, even if thou gettest it, Captain Ahab? It will not fetch thee much in our Nantucket market. Nantucket market? Hoot! But come closer, Starbuck. Thou requirest a little lower layer. If money's to be the measure, man, and the accountants have computed their great counting house, the globe, by girdling it with guineas, 1 to every 3 parts of an inch, then let me tell thee that my vengeance will fetch a premium here. He smites his chest, whispered Stubb. What's that for? Methinks it's the eye of Starbuck fell down. What's that for? Sorry, turned over 2 faces. There we go. What's that for? Methinks it rings most vast but hollow. Vengeance on a dumb brute, cried Starbuck. That simply smoked thee from blindest instinct madness. To be enraged with a dumb thing, Captain Ahab, seems blasphemous. Hark ye again. The little lower layer. All visible objects, man, are but as pasteboard masks. But in each event, in the living act, the undoubted deed, there some unknown but still reasoning thing puts forth the mouldings of its features from behind the unreasoning mask. If man will strike through the mask. How can the prisoner reach outside except by thrusting through the wall? To me, the white whale is that wall shoved near to me. Sometimes I think there's naught beyond, but 'tis enough. He tasks me, he heaps me, I see in him outrageous strength with an inscrutable malice sinewing it. That inscrutable thing is cheerfully what I hate, and be the white whale agent, or be the white whale principal, I will wreak that hate upon him. Talk not to me of blasphemy, man. I'd strike the sun if it insulted me. For could the sun do that, then could I do the other, since there is ever a sort of fair play herein, jealousy presiding over all creations. But not my master, man, is even that fair play. Who's over me? Truth hath no confines. Take that off thine eye, more intolerable than fiends' glarings is a doltish stare. So thou reddenest and palest, my heat has melted thee to anger glow. But look ye, Starbuck, what I said in heat, that thing unsays itself. There are men from whom warm words are small indignity. I meant not to incense thee. Let it go. Look, see yonder Turkish cheeks of spotted tawn, living, breathing pictures painted by the sun. The pagan leopards, the unreckoning and unworshipping things that live and seek and give no reasons for the torrid life they feel. The crew, man, the crew, are they not one and all with Ahab in this matter of the whale? See Stubb, he laughs. And see yonder Chilean, he snorts to think of it. Stand up amid the general hurricane, thy one-tossed sapling cannot, Starbuck. And what is it? Reckon it. 'Tis but to help strike a fin, no wondrous feat for Starbuck. What is it more? From this one poor hunt, then, that best lance of all of Nantucket, surely he will not hang back, when every foremast hand is clutched a whetstone. Constraining seas the eye see, the billows lift thee, speak, but speak, aye, thy silence, then that voices thee. Something shot from my dilated nostrils. He has inhaled it in his lungs. Starbuck now is mine, cannot oppose me now without rebellion. God keep us all, murmured Starbuck lowly. But in his joy at the enchanted tacit acquiescence of the mate, Ahab did not hear his foreboding invocation, nor yet the low laugh from the hold, nor yet the presaging vibrations of the wind in the cordage, nor yet the hollow flap of the sails against the masts. As for a moment their hearts sank in. For again Starbuck's downcast eyes lighted up with the stubbornness of life. The subterranean laugh died away, the winds blew on, the sails filled out, the ship heaved and rolled as before. Ah, ye admonitions and warnings, why stay ye not when ye come? But rather are ye predictions than warnings, ye shadows. Ye not so much predictions from without as verifications of the foregoings things within. For with little external to constrain us, the innermost necessities in our being, these still drive us on. The measure, cried Ahab. Receiving the brimming pewter and turning to the harpooners, he ordered them to produce their weapons. Then, ranging them before him near the capstan, with their harpoons in their hands, while his 3 mates stood at his side with their lances, and the rest of the ship's company formed a circle round the group, he stood for an instant searchingly, eyeing every man of his crew. But those wild eyes met his as the bloodshot eyes of the prairie wolves made the eye of their leader. Ere he rushes on at their head in the trail of the bison, but alas, only to fall into the hidden snare of the Indian. Drink and pass, he cried, handing the heavy charged flagon to the nearest seaman. The crew alone now drink, round with it, round. Short draughts, long swallows, men. 'Tis hot as Satan's hoof. So it goes round excellently. It spiralizes in, he forks out at the serpent's snapping eye. Well done, almost drained. That way it went, this way it went. Hand it me, here's a hollow. Men, ye seen the years so brinned, life is gulped and gone. Steward, refill. Attend now, my braves. I have mustered ye all round this capstan, and ye mates, flank me with your lances, and ye harpooners, stand there with your irons, and ye stout mariners, ring me in, that I may in some sort of revive a noble custom of my fisherman fathers before me. O men, you will yet see that. Ha, boy, come quick. Come back. Bad pennies not come sooner. Hand it me. Why now this pewter had run brimming again. Wert not thou Saint Vitus's imp? Away, thou egg. Advance, ye mates. Cross your lances full before me. Well done. Let me touch the axis. So saying, with extending his arm, he grasped the 3 level, radiating lances at their cross centre. While doing so, suddenly and nervously twitched them. Meanwhile, glancing intently from Starbuck to Stub, from Stub to Flask, it seemed as though by some nameless interior volition he would fain have shocked into them the same fiery emotion accumulated within the Leyden jar of his own magnetic life. The 3 mates quailed before his strong, sustained, and mystic aspect. Stub and Flask looked sideways from him, and the honest eye of Starbuck fell downright. In vain, cried Ahab, but maybe 'tis well. For did ye 3 but once take the full forced shock, when mine own electric thing, that had perhaps expired from out me? Perchance too it would have dropped ye dead, perchance ye need it not. Down, lances, and now, ye mates, I do appoint ye 3 cupbearers to my 3 pagan kinsmen there, yon 3 most honourable gentlemen and noblemen, my valiant harpooners. Disdain the task? What, when the great Pope washes the feet of beggars, using his tiara for ewer? O my sweet cardinals, your own condescension, that shall bend ye to it. I do not order ye, ye will it. Cut your seizings and draw the poles, ye harpooners. Silently obeying the order, the 3 harpooners now stood with the detached iron part of their harpoons some 3 feet long held barbs up before them. Stab me not with that keen steel. Cant them over. Know ye not the goblet end. Turn up the socket. So now ye cup-bearers advance. The irons, take them, hold them while I fill. Forthwith, slowly going from one officer to the next, he brimmed the harpooner sockets with the fiery waters from the pewter. Now, 3 to 3 ye stand. Commend the murderous chalices. Bestow them, ye who know ye are now more parties to this indissoluble league. Ha! Starbuck, but the deed is done. Yon ratifying sun now waits to sit upon it. Drink, ye harpooners. Drink and swear, ye men that man the deathful whaleboat's bow. Death to Moby Dick. God hunt us all if we do not hunt Moby Dick to his death. The long, Barbed steel goblets were lifted, and decries and maledictions against the white whale. The spirits were simultaneously quaffed down with a hiss. Starbuck paled and turned and shivered. Once more, and finally, the replenished pewter went the rounds among the frantic crew, when, waving his free hand to them, they all dispersed, and Ahab retired within his cabin. Well, now it starts, eh? Now it starts. What a way to set off on the hunt. Forming this sworn determination to kill the white whale, Moby Dick. Sealing it all with drink from the pewter. And it's almost a ceremony from what could be Kikeg's homeland, passing around the drink and standing there with their lances and swearing to kill the whale. It's almost a religious thing, isn't it? I mean, we've had a lot of talk of religion, but this is almost a barbaric swearing ceremony all of its own. It's quite a thing. So yes, now that we've been properly introduced to Ahab, he seems like quite a character. Not quite what I was expecting either. Not quite that. Not the madness I was thinking, but I was thinking he might be really hard and harsh on his crew, but he wanted them with him and sworn to do what he wanted. Quite an interesting thing. So, don't forget, as ever, make sure you subscribe to me, either down there or I think up there in the corner. Maybe it's up there, I don't know. Anyway, wherever it is, tap on my face and follow me. Make sure you give me a like, a thumbs up, and I'll see you for the next chapter 37. So thank you for watching, as ever, and let me know what you think. See you for the next chapter. Bye-bye.